Shaming language. It's something that the social justice left goes on about all the time. It's up there with their sexism and their racism and their homophobia and so forth. That you aren't allowed to use shaming language that judges anybody else's lifestyle. Now, the typical interpretation of this is that what they're rejecting, what they're complaining about, what they don't like, is they don't like being judged for being the way they are. As if we can all remember back to that gym coach. Maybe you weren't an athletic kid and the gym coach made fun of you for not liking sports ball. And nobody likes that. It's not my fault that I wasn't born as big and tall as Bruno over there. So why are you shaming me for that? I'm trying my best. Except that's not what's going on. That when it comes to the social justice left, constantly displaying their degeneracy on stage and demanding that you accept it, this has absolutely nothing to do with them feeling like you're trying to manipulate them and demand that they live up to a standard that they're simply not capable of achieving. There's more going on than that. One of the things I hear in Vegas quite a bit is people bragging about how much money they lost at the slot machine. Oh man, you won't believe it, I blew $100 at the slot machine the other night. The slots are a sucker's bet. Everybody knows that, and you especially should know that if you live in Las Vegas. So what is the motivation of the person telling you that they lost $100 at the slot machine? They're certainly not asking for advice, are they? They weren't playing poker. Alright, you can actually make money playing poker, not at a slot machine. So why are they telling you? Why is it that every single sexual practice now needs to be on full flagrant display, all pink and naked and dangling? Why do we need to hear about all of that? Especially when I believe it was Milo Yiannopoulos who said, gay sex is so much fun when it's dirty. And why is it that we have these feminists running around during their period without wearing feminine hygiene products, free bleeding, as it were, when if there's anything to be ashamed of, a bleeding vagina is in the top 10? Why are these people so flagrantly displaying their shameful behavior, their failures, their screw-ups, their aberrancies and abnormalities, and pushing them in your face? Why the gay pride parade with the midget on a leash? The reason is not that they feel manipulated and coerced and oppressed by civil society that doesn't want to know about their scat fetish or whatever other thing they're getting up to in the evenings. Quite frankly, I don't want to know if my neighbor and his wife enjoy oral sex. What's actually going on is that deep down, these people are judging themselves. These people know that God is judging them. When you go out on the weekend, especially if you're poor, you go out on the weekend, you blow $100 at a slot machine, and then you have the gall to complain about your lack of finances a week later? What do you think God's thinking about that? And do you think these people don't know that that's exactly what's happening? They aren't judging themselves? They don't know that they're failures? The reason that these people throw it in your face, and pay attention to this, next time somebody tells you about something shameful they did, not in a confessional way, like I really screwed up and I'm really embarrassed about it, but I need to tell somebody, but in a prideful way. I screwed up. Are you going to judge me? Keep an eye open for those cold, dead eyes when they say it. They are rejecting reality. This is what the sin of pride is. It's when you decide to become your own God. You don't like the universe God made. So you reject God. You reject truth. You reject reality. You don't like being poor, so you blow $100 at the slot machine. And then instead of admitting that you were a fool, you demand that others approve of it. Oh, it's a good way to relieve stress. If you can't afford a car, if you can't afford rent, if you can't afford food, you can't afford to relieve stress at $100 a night. But that's what these people want to be. They want to be their own God. They are harming themselves. They are destroying themselves. They're throwing it in your face, demanding that you approve, endorse, and encourage them further along this degenerate route. That way, all of their problems ultimately weren't because of their own free will. It's because you told them to do it. Shaming language, the rejection thereof, is all about an entire cohort of people who know that they're filthy and disgusting and self-destructive failures. But if they can just get society to pat them on the back for soiling themselves in public, well, then what God thinks doesn't matter anymore, now does it? Aurini out.